Welcome everyone to a new explainer from Cognition Channel. We're so glad to have you with us. Today we're diving into a massive thought experiment. One that literally pulls the rug out from under our entire modern world. So let's just get right into it. What would really happen if all the world's oil just, poof, vanished in an instant?
I want you to really picture this. Imagine waking up tomorrow, and this is your reality. We're not talking about a slow, managed transition here. No, this is a sudden, total, absolute absence. Every single drop of crude oil, every refined product, gasoline, jet fuel, the works, it's just gone. So what does day one even look like?
Well, the very first thing you notice, silence. That constant hum of traffic we all live with, gone. Highways would instantly turn into the world's biggest parking lots. Planes, grounded. Cargo ships, just adrift at sea. The entire circulatory system of our global economy, which, let's be honest, runs on oil, would basically have a massive, catastrophic heart attack. Right, so that initial paralysis, it would immediately kick off this cascade of failures. And we're not just talking about a bad recession here. No. We are talking about the complete shutdown of society as we know it. So in this first part, the global shock, we're going to see just how insanely critical those first 72 hours would be. And this just perfectly shows the chain reaction. First, like we said, transportation grinds to a halt. Right away, that severs all our supply chains. Think about it. No more food getting to grocery stores, no medicine arriving at pharmacies. But the third step? Man, that's the real kicker. A lot of our power grids actually rely on oil-fired plants, maybe to handle peak demand or sometimes even as their main source of power. Without them, you're looking at widespread, rolling blackouts across entire continents. Okay, so next up, that shockwave morphs into an economic catastrophe. And for the producer economies, those nations whose entire modern identity is built on oil, this isn't just some crisis. This is basically an extinction-level event for their way of life. The scale of this dependency is it's staggering. For a bunch of major global players, oil isn't just part of their economy. It literally is their economy. Take a number like 50%. That means half of all their government's revenue, the money that pays for their schools, their hospitals, their armies, everything, would just vanish overnight. And this chart here really lays out the brutal math. Before this all happens, you see the economic scale is kind of balanced. And after, it's just a gigantic, unfillable hole. You just can't replace half of your national income in a week or a month. You probably can't do it in a decade. The shock would be instantaneous and absolute. This quote, even though it's hypothetical, it really captures the human side of all these numbers. This is the voice of a leader watching their entire nation get, vaporized. It's just a statement of pure despair. And you better believe that despair would ripple out fast, kicking off some truly seismic geopolitical consequences. So with the economic pillars of these oil states just turning to dust, the global balance of power, it would be redrawn, and I mean violently. The world map as you and I know it would be completely obsolete, instantly. Look, our current geopolitical structure is really built on these four big pillars. And poof, they would all crumble. OPEC's power to control markets? Gone. The petrodollar system, the thing that ties the US dollar to oil sales all over the world, that would just collapse. All those strategic alliances built around energy security? Totally meaningless now. The old rules just wouldn't apply anymore. So this lays out the new reality, plain and simple. It's pretty clear who the losers are. The old energy superpowers, for sure, and any country that was totally dependent on importing that energy. And the winners? Well, it'd be the ones who had the foresight to invest big in renewable tech, and, this is crucial, the ones who control the resources for the next generation of energy. We're talking lithium, cobalt, copper, all those rare earth minerals. And this is the really terrifying but also fascinating question at the heart of this new world order. They say nature abhors a vacuum, right? Well, so does geopolitics. This sudden void in power would almost certainly lead to massive instability, probably conflict, and a desperate scramble to figure out who's on top in the new hierarchy. All right, so let's pull back from the brink of this apocalypse for a second. What's the real lesson here? This whole thought experiment, it was never just about some crazy fantasy scenario. It's a stress test, and boy does it reveal the profound fragility of our entire system. And really, this is the core takeaway.
It doesn't matter if it's a single resource like oil, or a single supply chain, or a single way of doing geopolitics, relying too much on one thing makes you fragile. Our little hypothetical collapse here shows that what we think of as this big, strong, complex system is actually, well, it's an incredibly delicate house of cards.
And that leaves us with one final, absolutely critical question. This whole scenario, it forces us to look in the mirror and confront our reality. If the very foundation of our world is this fragile, what exactly are we building on top of it? And more importantly, what does a truly resilient alternative even look like? That's the question this thought experiment leaves for all of us to think about. Goodbye, and see you in the next explainer from Cognition Channel.